You're listening to an encore presentation of Life Talk with Wade Sorochan. Highlights of previous shows featuring special guests and open line discussions. Since this is a pre-recorded presentation, please do not call. And now, Live Talk with Wade Sorochan on AM 930, The Light.
On the program today, ladies and gentlemen, I said something that probably has affected you in the past or maybe is affecting you right now, either directly or because you have kids in school. And I'm talking about the dreaded H word, homework. You just heard on the news there that story of that Calgary couple, Tom Milley and his wife Shelley. You know, they shuttle their children to and from speed skating practice. They go to music lessons, race to put dinner on the table. And then it becomes the dreaded homework is still before the kids. It's late at night and they still have homework. Does that sound familiar? With your situation right now, or maybe you had a situation like that? Or think back to when you were in school and think about your homework load. Or maybe you have kids in school right now. Think about their homework load. I know a lot of people right now listening while they're waiting to pick up their kids from school. Well, the Millies in Calgary have 3 kids, Spencer 11 and sister Brittany 10, and also have an older child. They could spend up to 3 hours a night completing math problems and word lists with the help of the parents, up to 3 hours a night. But no longer, because the Millies have struck a blow for family freedom by getting their kids' teachers to promise to lay off on the homework indefinitely. Last week, the Millies signed a unique contract with teachers and the principal at St. Bridget's School to eliminate homework completely for the 2 kids, Spencer and Brittany, 11 and 10. The general homework policy of the school was 10 minutes per grade per night, and I think each teacher took that quite literally to mean each teacher should assign 10 minutes per grade per night, said a frustrated Tom Milley, the father. You think about that. If they have a policy for 10 minutes per night per child, that's only one class. Add up all the classes that a kid has and all the teachers, and that could add up to a lot. He says the mounting homework hung like the sword of Damocles over his children as they tried to enjoy extracurricular activities. Says the later it gets, the more stressed out they become. So their no homework contract is a result of 2 years of lobbying the school and district. And doesn't mean the kids are completely off the hook. The mother still quizzes Spencer at night to prepare for upcoming science exams, while Tom, the father, works with Brittany to improve her spelling. The difference is the family can now choose when and how it studies at home. Instead of blithely completing homework sheets we thought were dubious of value, this allows us more time to concentrate on their weaknesses, says the mother. Now, the homework debate is hardly new to Calgarians, but parents are largely divided on the issue, with some warning more homework for their children and others calling for less. The president of the Calgary Association of Parents and School Councils said that keeping after-school projects and assignments to a minimum is seen by many parents as most important in the early years. Kids need to learn to like school. And if everything becomes a chore, then they're not creating an environment where kids are going to love learning. This is what the Calgary Association of Parents and Schools Council, Laura Cjca, said. Homework demands on today's students are increasing, and even kindergarten children are coming home with daily assignments, says Vera Goodman, a retired teacher and author of the book Simply Too Much Homework, who we had on this program about a year ago talking about this very thing. And she's coming up talking on the program again today. Goodman praises the Calgary Catholic School District for moving forward with the Milley Family Homework Agreement, which she says could lead to more families coming expressing their homework concerns to schools. It's a real step forward for getting people to talk about the issue, she said. Parents should have the right to choose how their children spend their free time at night. Children already spend 7 to 8 hours a day at school, including riding the bus. Why should they have to face hours of homework on top of that? That's the question I will pose today, and that's the question that is on our web poll right now. Do you think schools are assigning too much homework? Yes or no? That's at am930thelight.com. We'll have the results of this web poll question tomorrow. And your thoughts right now at 780-430-9300 or 1-877-827-2346. let's talk homework. I remember it when I was in school. Maybe you're experiencing it right now, either directly or with your own children. Do you think it's too much? I've always wondered, why can't we just do the work during the day and let's allow kids to have that free time at night rather than stressing them out with homework assignments? If they can't teach it during the day, why are they putting that burden on the families at night? Let's go to the phones. Let's talk to Alex. Hello, Alex.
Hi.
Hi, Alex. You sound like a young person.
Yeah.
What grade are you in, Alex?
6.
You're in grade 6. Okay, Alex, let's talk about homework. Do you think you get too much homework?
Kind of.
Kind of. How much time do you spend on homework in the evening?
Like half an hour.
Half an hour?
That's the majority.
Yeah. Well, that's not a whole lot of time.
Yeah.
So you're okay with that, or would you like to see no homework at all?
Sometimes I wish.
Yeah?
That.
Yeah. Do you think that all the learning should be done in the school, and then when you get home at night, you should be able to relax and go to hockey and do all things without worrying about doing schoolwork?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. It's good to get a young person's perspective on this, Alex. I appreciate your call, all right?
And,
Yeah.
right now I'm at your studio picking up a prize.
You're here right now?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't see you because I'm in a studio, but good for you. But thanks for your call, Alex.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. All right. Let's talk to Jamie. Hello, Jamie out in St. Albert.
Hi.
Hi. What do you
How are
think?
you?
I'm fine, Jamie. If I felt any better, I would be a Pop-Tart today.
Oh,
Because Kellogg introduced the Pop-Tart on this day in 1965.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I haven't had a Pop-Tart in a long time. I think I'll celebrate by having one today.
Good for you.
Yes. So what do you think, Jamie, about all this homework stuff?
Well, I think homework's fine, but yeah, I think there's way too much, and I think I feel that part of the reason is because the schools, the curriculum delves into too many areas that they're really not responsible for.
Tell me, like, for example?
Social curricular activities, for instance, and they when my kids go to school and they do bring a lot of their work home because they just don't have time to do it in school because they're always doing things that I don't feel should be necessarily part of their curriculum. Whether it's well, let me give you an example. I've been volunteering in the schools for the last 6 years with my kids, and I see a lot of time spent on activities that fall under the category of social development.
Right.
Spending an entire afternoon picking up garbage in the school ground, or spending an entire afternoon taking care of the school mascot, the dog, or going for walks around the neighborhood, meeting the neighbor, going down to the corner store to buy the entire class some candy or some Slurpees. And it does happen. It happens a lot.
Okay, so you would like to see back to basic curriculum, just the reading, writing, arithmetic, and keeping it very academic that way?
Yeah, there are some things that I think the kids do need to do, but I was speaking to a principal one time, and he said that there's a lot of things that they want to do for the kids that the kids don't have the opportunity to do at home.
Right. Skating,
swimming, and different activities like that. But and also, my kids have probably watched more movies throughout the school year at school than they have at home.
Oh.
Just videos, just because it's free time.
Yeah.
What the heck is free time, I want my free time at the end of the day, with my kids, but they have to bring their schoolwork home because it's free time now. Let's watch a video.
Oh, okay.
And I don't care what teacher calls in and says that doesn't happen, because I'm there, and it happens all the time.
And I'll bet teachers will say, well, it's because we need a break in the classroom as well. We need to catch up on this marking or whatever, so it's good to, give something for the kids to watch while they do the work. How do you respond to that, Jamie?
Get a different job. Honestly, if that's not what you're meant to do, and you don't have the tenacity for it, I don't feel teachers get paid enough for the workload they have. I really don't.
I agree with you there.
I feel that they should get paid more. I really, really do, because they do have a lot of work. But honestly, if you can't handle it, get a different career.
Okay, Jamie, we'll leave that at that. I'm sure we're going to get calls from teachers. Thank you for that.
I'm sure you are. I should have used a different name.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye, Phyllis. Are kids being assigned too much homework? Your calls at 780-430-9300, 1-877-827-2346. I want to bring into the conversation here. She's on the phone line from Calgary. She's the author of the book, Simply Too Much Homework. She's a retired teacher, Vera Goodman. Vera, welcome to the program.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Well, Vera, this is quite the story out of Calgary, and I know you know the Millies down there. Tell us about your association with them first.
Well, I wrote the homework book. I'm 75 years old, and why is homework my cause? But it's because I work with children who are not reading, and I find that they have so much homework that they hate school, they hate everything about it, and that influences their reading. So I guess that's why I wrote the book. But when it came out a couple of years ago, Shelley Milley saw the article in the Calgary Herald and contacted me and said, well, I guess I can do something about this, and started to do what I recommend in the book, which is for parents to go to the school and try to organize some debates and discussions with students, teachers, parents around the issue of homework and settle something that works for everyone, because there's people who want homework too, and they should be able to have the teacher send home homework. So she started on that journey, and this is how it's all come out 2 years later, and I've just been her support and helping her along the way.
So, Vera, do you find that with homework it seems to be a one-size-fits-all mentality?
Well, I think usually that's what happens. The homework's sent home to everyone to do, and that's what the Millies felt, that they did not want to just do busy work, which the kids already knew how to do, and they wanted the choice. And what I see coming out of this that's most important is that freedom of choice to organize your own life outside of school, especially weekends and holidays when there's often a lot of homework being given. So they have freedom to read, to work on other subjects of interest, to go to religious activities or sports activities or take classes or just simply go out and get some sunshine so they have some more vitamin D in their bodies.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good point. There are ramifications to if they're up until midnight. And I remember in high school being up until midnight, 1 o'clock, working on that assignment. All of a sudden, there's other ramifications here. First of all, I should be in bed getting the amount of sleep that I need, because that's going to affect me when I get back to school the next day. I'm going to be tired.
Well, absolutely. And kids are catching buses now, so they're up really early. Like they're up by 6:30 or so. And it's a long day, and especially for elementary school children. And a lot of them, if they have sports and things, they get home, they just get time to eat and then go to the sport. Then they got to come home and face homework until 10 or 11 o'clock at night.
When they should be in bed.
And that's when a lot of parents do the work for them. At least that's what I used to do even many years ago.
Wow.
Well, they have to go to bed.
Yeah.
And Shelley did that on many occasions, and so that's why she insisted that they not be graded on homework, because you don't know who does it.
Ah, that's a good point. Yes, that's right. I would be all for that. Don't grade on homework. Just grade on what's taught within the class. Now, Vera, there is the concern, and someone may bring this up, that, you know, if a child refuses to do the work in the classroom, obviously they would have to take that homework home. That's a natural consequence of not getting the work done.
Yeah, that's part of their agreement, that if their children are not behaving in class and not doing their work, then the teacher's supposed to contact them, and they're allowed to bring that home. So it puts an onus on the child to pay attention and do their best, and everyone in this agreement has some role to play. And I like it because of the feature of having choice to do homework if you want, and they do. They study for tests, they read. They're spending time doing schoolwork, which is a little different than assigned homework.
Yeah, exactly. So you would be a proponent of like studying for exams but not having to have these projects being done in the evening time when there's so much other stuff that is beneficial to kids, like social activities and recreational activities.
Yeah, that whole project thing came in after I was retired from teaching in the early 90s, and we never expected them to do whole projects at home. Yeah. And that's particularly devastating because often they have to do it with 2 or 3 other people, and with busing they may live God knows how far away.
Yeah. And
it's a huge problem, and much of it is, it might be a fine thing to do, and parents have to do. One parent told me he was in line at Walmart at 9 o'clock at night buying supplies, materials to do this project.
Oh.
And the other two people in line were all there buying materials for project 2.
Oh, boy. All right. Well,
so I laughed at that story.
Let's take some more calls. This is Vera Goodman, a retired teacher and author of the book, Simply Too Much Homework. Let's talk to Rose. Hello, Rose.
Hi.
Hi there, Rose. What do you think about all this?
I really have to agree that it's too much homework because I have a 9-year-old, 11, and a 12. And just like they say, they're going to bed so late. And what I think that one of the problem is that the teachers, some of the teachers, and don't want to generalize, are not doing their job in school. So they just assign it to the kids, send them home, and I end up like I am going back to school again. Because I'm constantly helping my kids to do homework.
Right.
And they don't even have the, like if you're doing a project or a research paper, I thought that you walk the child through it, show the child what needs to be done, and you work on it at school as they go through the different week or days. Yeah. But it's just sent home and expected to be done the following day.
Okay, Vera, what do you think about that?
Well, yes, that's the objection I have. Maybe you've got some activity you have to do that night and you just can't get it done on that time. And now these parents have a chance to organize the schoolwork time that they want to do. And it's interesting because one of the arguments that teachers will say is because they have to cover a big curriculum. And, if that's the case, then change the curriculum. Don't try to change the people to fit the curriculum.
But the teachers don't have the power to change the curriculum. That's through the...
This has to happen at Alberta Educate, or, at higher levels for that to happen. But they need to look at that because, schools can only talk about a fraction, and it's maybe 1% of the knowledge of the world that they can ever even talk about in schools because there's so much.
Yeah.
And so they don't need to have huge curriculums. They need time to stop, discuss, think, create, and not just be going along trying to cover curriculum.
Yeah. So, Rose, you said you have 3 children. How old are they again?
One is 12, one is 11, and one is 9. And I really have to agree with one of the callers that called earlier that they're spending too much time doing other social stuff or playing games, watching movies, when should be spent to teach the kids in school.
Yeah, that's a good point. Rose, thank you for your call.
Okay,
and
thank you.
I think we have defensive teachers here that not all teachers do that.
No.
That probably happens. And they're conscientious, and they do feel that kids need to do extra work at home. And I see both sides of this issue because I was a teacher and a parent, and now I'm a consultant, and I see all the sides of it.
Well, yeah, you've seen all sides. Now, when you were a teacher, Vera, so you've seen a lot change. Obviously, you're retired now, but you've seen a lot change over the years.
Homework has become much more heavy. In elementary school, we gave very little reading and studying for tests and things like that. But I've seen the homework load increase so dramatically, and now even kids as young as kindergarten and grade 1, parents tell me that they have homework. And for me, that was never even an option at that stage.
Yeah.
So,
are you familiar with the book by Sarah Bennett, the Cjca Against Homework?
I'm very familiar with Sarah. We've been working together for a couple of years with Shelley. The 3 of us have been CCing everything to each other, and we've been all working together. And we refer people to each other. And in my book, I actually say go to her book because it's a longer book and it has more questionnaires and stuff in it.
Yes.
Mine is just it's not a long book, but it's a good one for parents to hand to the teacher and say, look, just read this because it's readable and it takes teacher's point of view and parents' point of view. And mine's just a whole different purpose than hers. I think Sarah's doing great work.
Yeah, she's got a lot of studies in there. It's called The Case Against Homework: How Homework is Hurting Our Children and What We Can Do About It. And she says there's very little correlation between the amount of homework and the achievement in school.
Yeah, and that's absolutely true. And her book has a lot more case studies, which I didn't go into because I didn't want mine too long. I wanted it something that parents could read and would read in a shorter time. And Jan Olson, who's the principal of Barrie School down in Ontario, he has a school where they don't give homework.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Vera, because he's going to join us on the phone line in a moment. Can you stay with us?
Oh, I'd love to.
Yeah, we'll have you on. We'll have Jan Olson, who's the principal of Prince of Wales School in Barrie, Ontario, and as you said, the only school in the country to ban homework. And we'll take more calls from our listeners as well.
I don't think it's the only one in the country, but he's probably done it most successfully.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll get all that cleared up, and we'll talk more. And more of your calls here on Life Talk on AM 930 The Light at 780-430-9300 or 1-877-827-2346. Do you think schools are assigning too much homework? More of your calls and our guests right after this.